So I'm Lidia, also known as Miss Hang on Instagram, and I'm Spanish. I lived in Spain for like most of my life. I studied arts in Spain, and I moved to London like 5 years ago to pursue my art career a little bit further. And yeah, I've been living here ever since and working as an artist. Oh, I love London. Yeah, if you're an artist, it's definitely the place to be, I think. It's changing all the time. It's very artistic. There are events, galleries everywhere. And yeah, it's like the art community is plumping here. So I think it's the perfect place to be. I would say that I create mainly digital art. I could say, yeah, I'm an illustrator. Everyone knows. I create mainly digital art, and I'm also in the UX UI design for apps, mainly for Android. So I think that's a good description. Yeah, I knew, like, ever since I can remember, even in preschool, I always wanted to do something related to art. So I knew I had to go to art school. It's very difficult, especially as you're starting, because it's difficult to be an artist. And from an economic perspective, your parents are usually very concerned that you're not going to find a job, that it's not like profitable or anything else. So it was very difficult for me to actually get to go to art school, and it took me quite a lot of like persuasion like towards my parents. But I was so sure that I had to do it, that it just happened because it had to happen. Yeah. I guess one would be moving to London, because back in Spain, where I am from, it's very difficult to like get a job as a designer. Yeah, basically being an artist is very difficult. It's a very small town in the north of Spain, so definitely moving to London was like that break for me to be like, okay, no, I need to do something. I need to get like bigger and better, and this is the place where I need to go. That could be one. And then in terms of my illustration, so apart from the UX UI design that I do, for me it was getting an iPad, and it's like pretty crazy. Because I do digital art, and you know, you need to have your computer, you need to have the drawing tablet. It was like, I'm so lazy. I just want to go on my sofa and draw a little bit. So yeah, I got the iPad, and that made me really, yeah, do a lot more. And as you do more, you want to do more and more and more, and then like it escalates a lot like quicker. So yeah, I mean, who would have known? So the tools that I use, of course, is mainly my iPad. I do use also my MacBook Pro for more UX UI design. And I guess I want to go back a lot more to traditional art. So I would like to improve my traditional art a little bit. Thankfully, I've got a partnership with a brand that is like providing me with some very cool traditional art supplies, which is great because I get to experiment. But definitely I feel that I'm in the position now to start experimenting a lot with traditional art, which is like so fun to do. So yeah, I can't wait to keep trying. I guess that came when I was kind of figuring out how I was going to do money out of my art. So it was, yeah, more going towards graphic design. And then, of course, apps, digital apps and websites, etc., are plumbing right now. So yeah, it's just a career that was very easy for me to choose, and I actually liked it a lot. What I'm doing now is that I'm not only doing like the design of the app, but also kind of introducing my abilities into illustration into them. So it's like a nice mix between illustrated design and just graphic design with no illustration into it. So it's like I can combine those two, which is perfect because I can make a living out of being an artist, and at the same time I get to illustrate and like be more creative.
And did they start out as kind of two separate things that sort of kind of now you are able to cross them over?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I didn't think, I thought, oh yeah, like UX UI is so boring, like it's just gonna be for like making money, making a living. But then when you get more into it and when you get granted like certain, I guess, how do I explain it? Wait, you need to cut here. Yeah, when you get granted like certain freedom in your job, then you can experiment a little bit more. And yeah, that's where like I decided, yeah, like let me put some illustration into this as well. Yeah, it's completely different. My design that I do for UX UI, kind of illustrated as well, is more towards graphic design, whereas the work that I do for my personal work is, I guess, more illustrated, more raw. Yeah, it's more towards traditional illustration. So yeah, it's very different. Then when it comes to kind of like doing both things at the same time and balance both is very difficult, because when I was working for a third-party company, it was very difficult, you know, working from 9 to 5:30 and then getting home, you're like, it's already late, you're so like tired, you don't want to like do even more work. So you really need to push yourself, because if you don't practice, you're never gonna get anywhere. And even though I do my art for myself, I really want to also like put it out there and, you know, get somewhere with it, and maybe in the future, that's how I'm gonna make a living, and it's not like the other thing that I'm doing right now. So yeah, it was very difficult to like maintain in that sense, but you know, I just needed to do it, because otherwise, like, you're never gonna get anywhere. It could be times where we would be in the park and I could be on my iPad actually doing stuff. But yeah, sometimes it's difficult. You need to find a very, very good balance, and you need to push yourself a little bit. And if in the back of your mind you know that that is going to be for a better good and that that is going to help you in the future, then it's very rewarding, I think. Yeah, I guess the two main struggles, one would be that my parents were not very supportive of me going into art school, and it took me quite a long time to, yeah, basically persuade them into like letting me go. But if you know, you know, and when you're passionate about something that it might be art, it might be something else, and you talk about it, it's like you can feel it. You can feel that the person is passionate and they really believe in that. So it took me a while, but actually at the end, everything was good. That would be my first struggle. And then my second struggle is trying to make a living out of like something that is very difficult. So you need to get a regular job, if you will. And yeah, you have a job and you work like 8 hours a day. And then it's like so hard to like put yourself down and like, no, I need to draw. I need to like design, I need to do whatever. Yeah, that was a struggle at the beginning, for sure. I stopped drawing for at least 2 or 3 years. So yeah, just because of that, purely because of that. But then I realized that it's my passion. So if you have a passion, you need to go for it. So yeah. I guess in that sense, it made me even like show the world more. Also, I was kind of born in the digital era. So yeah, I mean, I was a teenager, and you know, there were a couple of websites back then where you could upload your art, and I actually started with digital art very young, like more than 10 years ago. So I was like uploading my little pictures, and I could see a reaction. However minimal the reaction was, I could see a reaction which was amazing, because at home I didn't have that. So that made me share even more and more and more and more and more, until obviously I had to stop for like job reasons. But yeah, I think when you don't have the support in your house, or yeah, when you're lacking someone that really pushes you, there is this very huge, super cool tool that is the internet. And if you put things up there, you're gonna have so much support, like tutorials, people to get inspired from. Yeah, it's just so many things. So I think that pushed me into like sharing more. I don't have a special piece. I could say my special piece is the app I've been working on for the longest time. It's my personal project, and my job right now is heavily illustrated and is all like very thematic. So all the illustrations have to do with each other, follow kind of like the same theme basically. So I could say that's my favorite piece. It's called Mood Space, by the way.
Can you say one more time, sir?
Mood Space.
Mood Space.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And what do you do with Mood Space?
So it started as a very small project for me and my boyfriend in our free time. And yeah, it's basically a mental health app based on different exercises that you can do every day. It's basically those exercises that when you go to therapy, they give you like some pieces of paper and you need to fill in with like different questions about your day. We thought that that was very outdated. Many people didn't like to do it that way. And there wasn't really anything out there that was like filling into this gap. So yeah, we decided to do this very small app like 2 or 3 years ago. And then people liked it a lot. It was very small, very minimal, like almost no design, and people liked it. So we were very, very lucky that a few months ago an investor approached us and was like, I love this, people is loving it. It was also free and like no ads, no anything, so we were not getting any money out of it. So yeah, like ever since we started like heavily working on it, making more exercises, making the design a lot more beautiful, just making it bigger basically. So yeah, it's a very, very cool project. I love it.
And is it something that you had expected to ever grow to this stage? And also I'm going to guess that the mental health is like an important issue for you as well.
Yeah. I mean, mental health is something I've always struggled with, and I've seen people struggle with, so I think it's very important, especially nowadays, you know, with social media, etc. It's something that is definitely needs to be talked about even more. So it was for me very rewarding to work on something that can and actually does help people in their daily lives. And then we didn't even think about it getting bigger at all. We did it because we thought it was a very cool project to have and just put it out there. And if people find it useful and if we can help people, amazing, you know? So yeah, it was very unexpected that we actually gone this far.
Did it kind of come as a result of opening yourself up to the actual world that is mental health around? Or is it something, were you already quite open to that already in terms of like open with other people? Because I guess like when you were working on this, you were kind of opening yourself up a little bit, right?
Yeah. I guess I've always been very open about it because when you struggle in certain things, you overcome them, you realize the importance that certain people or certain things had into you overcoming. So you want to be in the future that kind of person to someone else. So yeah, definitely.
It must be a very nice feeling also as well, because I assume that you will get a lot of feedback about the app. You will have people that will also try and help you develop, and they'll tell you new ways, new features, like have you thought about this, right? And it must be really nice to hear a lot about this, also to know that you're helping a lot of people as well.
It's incredibly rewarding. It's like whenever I'm feeling down, I just go to the reviews that we have, and it's like it makes my day. It's so incredibly rewarding. Yeah, it's amazing. Kind of. The one thing that I always disagreed with, but more so when I started in art school, is in the very beginning of anyone's career, and I'm talking about when you are 3 or 4 and you start like, you have a crayon and you do like little things. I've always hated when people, grown-ups, like approach the kid and be like, oh no, but you know, a dog is not blue, you know, you can't paint a dog blue. And that, yeah, I don't agree with that. I could say let kids experiment, because we are in a moment that art's gone so far, but it's gonna go farther. So let the kids experiment, let them have like their best time. And then when they go to art school, if they ever do, they are going to learn how it's done. They are going to learn anatomy, how a dog is, and everything else. But yeah, I've always been like, yeah, let people experiment at the beginning, because they are going to be told in the future how things are made, and then they can make the decision, do I want to make it the way I've been doing it, or do I want to make it the other way? Do I want to mix them both? But if you basically start like cutting people's experimentations and imagination from the very beginning, then all you're gonna get is robots, people that create the same kind of content all the time. So yeah, that's basically, do not cut that creativity earlier on, because that is something so raw and so pure, and it's never ever gonna come back. When you're told the things, when you're like taught the things, that is something that you cannot unhear, you cannot unlearn. So that rawness for me is so pure, and it's like so precious, and it's a once in a lifetime situation. So yeah, I always say let kids like do their thing.
And do you see that creativity in schooling will become kind of like a bigger part, or like, do you think that creativity is going to become more endorsed, or do you think we're kind of getting further away from it sometimes?
That's actually a tricky question. I'm not too sure. I think systematically creativity is being cut. However, on the other hand, I think that nowadays with the internet and social media, you have access to so many things. Of course, that's like difficult as well, because it's the same thing. You could see a lot of the same thing and end up cutting your creativity and doing like the same thing that everyone's doing. But at the same time, if you're someone that likes to research, experiment, look things up, etc., you can find so many things. However, I do think that yeah, like systematically, school, high school, etc., is going towards like reducing people's creativity. Yeah. So people can find me on Instagram mainly. That's where I post all my personal art. My handle is Miss Hank. And what's next for me? I don't know. I'm not too sure. We are gonna release the bigger, better version of Mood Space in September, so I can't wait. That's gonna be very exciting and nerve-wracking as well. So yeah, if that goes well, I hopefully can invest 100% of my time on that. And then also, yeah, I just want to keep doing a lot of art. At the moment, I feel like I am in a very good position with my art. I'm producing a lot. I'm experimenting a lot. I've got a huge ton of support, which is amazing, and it makes me like keep going. So yeah, I just wish I keep going and I keep producing the same way I've been doing for the last few months.
Amazing.
Yay!
Thank you so much.
Thank you.